Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is the real reason the Clippers are so good this season. So that's the topic I'm going to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also be on the lookout for our Dreamerspro Premium community that we're almost done with, and also be on the lookout for Dreamerspro.com, which we're working on as well. Got a lot of things, coming down the line that we want to launch this year. Anyway, so be on the lookout for all those things. Anyway, let me get into the topic here. So this video, I was inspired by this topic by watching a video that the Clippers released yesterday on their YouTube channel. They release these videos. I think they release them once a month or once every 2 weeks or so. I don't know their posting schedule, where they kind of give you a behind the scenes look at the team, right? They're following the team around the season, which I think is pretty good because I think it's allowing players to connect with the team. Fans to connect with the team in a deeper way, and also people like us who cover sports teams to be able to, go inside the locker room and see, some of the inner workings that you're not going to be able to get just on the surface level by maybe reading articles online or watching some post-game interviews. So I like the fact that they're releasing this, that they're releasing these series of videos, because it's a great way to keep their fan base engaged. And also people like us in the media keep us engaged as well. So I was watching this video, and there were many different things that I was, kind of seeing in the video. But in the end, I was able to glean a particular point. And at the end of watching that entire video, let's say it was like a 14 or 12 minute video, I came to the understanding, begin to understand why this team is performing so well, right? And I think it all begins with Tyronn Lue, the decision to hire Tyronn Lue. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Some people thought that it made no big difference to coaching. Coaching matters. And you're beginning to see it with the hire in Tyronn Lue. It's a completely different thing with a new coach. It's a new philosophy, a new vibe, and all of this stuff. And it matters the coach that you have. Tyronn Lue, I think the reason he's resonating with his players at such a deep level is because of his experience. Tyronn Lue played on championship teams. Remember the Shaq and Kobe Lakers? He was on that team. He's played with some of the biggest personalities that the sport has ever had. He played with Shaq. He played with Kobe. And he played with Michael Jordan when he came back to play with the Washington Wizards. He was on that team. Now, was he a great player? No, but he was a solid player. He was a point guard. He wasn't drafted very high, although he was a first-round pick. But he was just one of these guys that was a role player that just went out there, did their job very smart, know how to run a team and all of this. And he had and he was trusted. For him to be even getting minutes in the NBA Finals as a backup to Derek Fisher when Phil Jackson was playing him shows you the type of player he was, and kind of floor general that he was for Phil Jackson to have him out there, to have him out there in games. Also, because of his success as a coach, because remember, Tyronn Lue is a championship coach, and he won his title with LeBron James, who was in many people's minds, a top 5 NBA player of all time. He coached that LeBron team, right? He was there with LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, who was a difficult personality, and Kevin Love. So coming into this organization, when he speaks to players like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, guys are going to listen to him. His resume matters, and is one of the things that was said in the video that Chauncey Billups mentioned. He said, given the fact that this team, given the fact that Ty Lue had success before he even came to this team, players are going to be more open to listen to him, and that's one of the things that we're seeing, because guys are beginning to respect him. I was even at one point in the video, one of his assistant head coaches was saying, like, when I came into this team this year in training camp, he was like, you could tell it was a completely different vibe. Even Lawrence Frank, I think he's the president of basketball operations for the team. All of them are really high on Tyronn Lue, and you can see the effect that it's beginning to have on the team, apart from just the vibe. Let's talk about the chemistry. You can see that this team is being very deliberate about chemistry and trust. I watched a lot of his videos, sort of post-game interviews in training camp. And a lot of the things he was saying was he spoke about the word trust. Guys have to trust each other. Guys have to trust each other. Why it's so important. That's one of the reasons you can see that this offense is working so well. Ball movement is predicated on trust. Why? Because if you move the ball, you're trusting that, listen, whoever ends up with that shot, I trust that guy to make that shot. And if he misses it, I have no problem passing him the ball again if it's a good shot that he's going to make it. That's trust, right? You can see so many times in these games, if you watch Kawhi Leonard, if you watch Paul George, these guys are giving up good shots for great shots. And it looks like it doesn't matter who takes the shot on this team as long as it's the best shot available. You'll see Kawhi Leonard drive to the basket. If he sees an open Nick Batum, he's going to hit him with a pass. If you see Patrick Beverley about to go up for a shot, but he has Kawhi Leonard open in the corner, he'll swing the ball and hit him with a pass. I think this team this year, I think one of the things that they were able to eliminate was their ego. Last season, that team, although a lot of them, most of them are still there, but they were so egotistical. They were walking around as if they won the title. You could see it in their demeanor, right? They were walking around showing up to games like as if they won. That was one of the things that happened in the bubble that hurt them. They got there and they expected teams to roll over the moment they got a lead. They got a lead and it was like, okay, can you just go home now? Like, come on, we all know we're the better team here. Why are we even still playing? And that came back to bite them. Last year in the playoffs, right? But with Tyronn Lue, I think everything starts with him. You can see, I've said it before and I'll say it again, Tyronn Lue is a very good, he knows how to manage games very well. I've seen the Clippers get up 15, 20 points in a game. They'll give up a 5-0, 7-0 run to the opposing team. He'll call a timeout. Get guys together, get guys to settle down, kind of get back into the rhythm of the game. He doesn't just sit there and allow things to happen. A lot of times when you see things going awry on the court, he doesn't panic. I think he got that from Phil Jackson. If you watch Phil Jackson in his coaching career, the Lakers could be, up 20, down 20. You would never know. You would never know because Phil Jackson has the same demeanor all the time. The only time I saw Phil Jackson become demonstrative on the court was when the Lakers got swept in the playoffs by the eventual champs, the Dallas Mavericks, and he was beating on the chest of Pau Gasol, like get your head in the game, But there was a reason for that, something that happened in the locker room, and I think he was trying to get Pau back into that series mentally, but Pau was gone, right? But with this team, you can see that the players are kind of adopting the personality of the coach. The trust is there. You can see Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are having career high in assists, right? If I look at Kawhi Leonard's numbers, he's averaging 5.6 a game, 5.6 assists per game. Paul George is at 5.5. So they're averaging close to, 11, 12 assists per game this season. These are all career highs, right? They're trusting in the system that the coach has implemented in ball movement and player movement. And this year, you can see the reason why this team is doing so well is because, number one, they have chemistry. For the first time, they have chemistry, and they've been deliberate about it. It's not by chance. Like, they went into this season knowing that they needed to improve their chemistry. So they have that. They have a great coach in Tyronn Lue. Steve Ballmer said when they hired him, they felt that they got the best coach in the league. So far, it looks like it's paying off. They have good coaching and good assistant coaches in Chauncey Billups and Kenny Atkinson and these guys. They have a strategy in place. With the new offensive system, they're running different sets of the triangle, but I think mostly their offense is predicated on ball movement and player movement. You see 6+6 of the Clippers players shooting above 40% from the three. They're leading the league in 3-point percentage, which is just absurd. And you can see that they're determined. They're determined to make up for what happened in the playoffs last year. Look at Paul George. Paul George is having a career year if we're talking about efficiency from the floor. A career year. Yesterday, we released a video talking about who's the best duo in the NBA. And I don't know if it's just some people that like to argue because they feel like, okay, I have to argue. But I thought what I said was pretty straightforward. I said, who's the best duo in the NBA currently? I didn't say overall. I didn't say of all time. I said currently. And some people were trying to make an argument that AD was playing better than Paul George. How? Just go look at his numbers. I mean, is this a question? Again, we got to remove the emotion out of what we're saying, man, and just be objective. It's not going to hurt you to just be objective. Some guys are too emotional, man. Let's just stick to the point. This year, this team is determined to make up for what happened last season. They've won their last 6 games, and so far, they're playing their best stretch of basketball probably that they played, probably at all. Like, I didn't see them play this well last season. Now, last season, I think they went on a 7-game or 6-game winning streak before I think the Lakers snapped it. But so far, if they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, they'll be on a 7-game winning streak, and let's see if they keep it up, because one of the things that Tyronn Lue spoke to was building the right habits, and so far it's leading this team to have some success, and I think this is the real reason that they're doing so well. It starts with Tyronn Lue. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you agree with me? Do you think that the impact of Tyronn Lue on this team is one of the catalysts for this team playing so well, or do you think it's something else, or do you think, listen, I just think it's a fluke? I think it's the teams that they've been playing. I think it's their current schedule, and you don't think it's going to last. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys in the next episode. Again, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the next video. Catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.